Hi, I'm Dr. Nandakishore. I have completed my BDS under Rajiv Gandhi University the last March of 2020. I'm focusing on my pursuing MDS, which is going to happen within no time.
So today topic of interest is dentinal hypersensitivity, which they allotted me. I mostly prefer Ramya Raghu while I'm in final year. So from that we will go with the definition first. Start with the definition. Dentinal hypersensitivity is characterized by a short, sharp pain which is arising from the exposed dentin in response to the stimuli. Typically osmotic, evaporative, tactile, chemical, which cannot be ascribed to any other form of dental defect or pathology. This is a basic definition which is given in Ramya Raghu. So this is the basic definition. For our understanding purposes, I will tell you a small story. In old movies, when there is a shy heroine used to change her dress, suddenly someone enters into the room. She used to scream. As the same way, when enamel is wear, dentin is exposed. When some stimulus acts on this dentin, the dentin starts initiating pain. There is a reaction. So there are two types of stimuli, which is one is cold and one is hot. Let's think hot is like a hero and cold is like a villain. When hot stimuli acts, the dentinal liquid goes towards the pulp. When cold stimuli acts, the dentinal liquid goes away from the pulp. So there is two differences. For cold stimuli, A delta fibers will react. For hot stimuli, C fibers will react. And this is a basic thing for the dentinal hypersensitivity. So we will go with the pain theory, transmission theories. First, direct innervation. This direct innervation theory explains that every dentinal tubule is innervated by a nerve, and when there is a damage to the dentinal tubule, then this nerve initiates some impulses and there is a initiation of pain. They said like this, but it is failed. Why? Because these nerves, these sensory nerve endings mostly present in predentin, near odontoblastic region, near to the pulp. But when we start doing cavity preparation, when we will go near to enamel and dentin junction, the patient feel pain. Why? So actually there is no nerves in dentino-enamel junction. The nerves will present near to the pulp, which is in predentin region. So this is the perfect example that direct innervation is failed. And second example was on a histological examination, there is no nerve present in the open tubules, near open dentinal tubules. Second thing. And the third thing, when there is a pain initiator chemicals such as histamines, acetylcholine, these type of chemicals, when they are applied on the open dentinal tubules, there is no initiation of pain is seen. So basically these are the three examples that can prove direct innervation is wrong. The second theory of pain transmission is odontoblastic deformation theory or transducer mechanism. This theory states this odontoblast and odontoblastic processes was damaged when there is an external stimuli acts on it. Then these odontoblast will release some neurotransmitter. Then the nerves near the predentin will react and it will send the signals to the CNS. Then CNS will initiate the pain. This is the basic theory they said. But this is also fell in the favor. This is also fell in disfavor. Why? Odontoblastic processes are not extended near to dentino-enamel junction. This is the one thing. So when we go for when we doing cavity preparation, when dentino-enamel junction comes, there is a patient feel pain. So this is the one thing. And when we doing the cavity preparation, which is like a deep cavity, so many odontoplastic processes, we will completely damage it by doing cavity preparation. Still, the patient feel pain. So this is the second example, which proves it is wrong. And third example is there is no acetylcholine. And odontoplastic processes, that neurotransmitter is very weak to initiate a signal. So this is the three examples which prove that odontoplastic deformation theory is wrong. And third, last theory, it is called hydrodynamic theory, which is the most acceptable theory. It states that here dental tubules and this is odontoplastic region. There is some space between two, and this space is filled with the fluid. This fluid will passes through dental tubules to the pulp at odontoplastic regions. So when there is an external stimuli, when the dentinals are exposed, when it is a cold stimuli or hot stimuli, this dentinal liquid runs rapidly from the pulp to the outward. So this rapidity, this rapid flow initiates the pain. So how this pain will act? This pain sensation will take by A delta fibers. Like it is like indirect stimulation and direct stimulation. There's two types. So A delta fibers will react and it initiate the pain. And this theory is proved, because while we doing the cavity preparation, when we go into the deep near to the pulp, so we'll feel that wetness in the cavity. So there is liquid. So because of this, the theory was proved. So this dental hypersensitivity mostly will seen in 20 to 50 years normally age people. So it is peak in 30 to 40 years, where we see most of this dental hypersensitivity in cervical area, in the facial surface, and mostly we'll see in canine, followed by first premolar, then incisor and the molar. Periodontal surgeries mostly they are the predisposing factor to cause this dental hypersensitivity. So we'll go with the etiology first. The two things: when there is enamel wear off, dental will exposed. This is the first thing. When there is a cementum wear off, dental is exposed. This is the second thing. When will the enamel wear off? Abrasion, when a wrong toothbrush technique. Second, erosion, upfraction, parafunctional habits. These are three things where enamel occlusal. So most of the students were they will go through so much of stress. So there is a bruxism in the night time. They used to clench their teeth. So there is a occlusal wear off. Then the dentin will be exposed and they feel the dentinal hypersensitivity. So this is the enamel wear off. Next, cemental wear off. Why cemental wear off? While doing when it is a gingivitis or periodontal problems, when periodontal surgeries at the curate age, when these type of procedures while we're doing, cementum will be chipped off. So then there is a dentinal exposure, improper placing the flap, so the dental tubules will expose. Then there is a dental hypersensitivity. This is a prevalence and etiology. So we'll go with the management. How? So most of this management you will see in the textbooks. So what I want to tell is, when there is a dental hypersensitivity, we used to see so many ads like use Sensodyne toothpaste. What is there in Sensodyne toothpaste? Potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate is the basic chemical which passes through the dental tubules and it desensitizes the sensory nerves. Means it will stop the depolarizing action of that nerve. This is the main mechanism that potassium nitrate will do. And next, mineral, which is recently added, which not recently, it is from 13 years. Novamine. Novamine is a new mineral which is now present in this Sensodyne and Vantage toothpaste. This Novamine mineral is used to do. So when this Novamine bind to the collagen, then it reserves the calcium and phosphate. So there is a formation of hydroxyapatite smear, then there is a blocking of liquid flow. Automatically hypersensitivity will be resolved. This is the major action of Novamen. And in the treatment, clinical treatment, clinical treatments we have so many of chemicals like ACP, CPP, calcium hydroxide, strontium, vanishes. So many are there. So basically, all these chemicals do only one thing: either blocking the liquid or desensitizing the nerves. There's laser treatment. One more is laser treatment. These laser treatment will depolarize the actions of sensory nerves. By that, there is a desensitization now. This mechanism will resolve the dental hypersensitivity. So this is a brief explanation about dental hypersensitivity. Hope you like it, and thank you.